Previously on The Bald Engineer.
Oh God, wait a minute, what?
Ooh, you're dirty.
Oh no.
James, you're looking at the wrong chip.
Oh my God.
Excuse me. Farts.
And F stands for fun.
Pick.
Yep, fell right for that one.
Tab is correct.
Oh no, 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 no. New work. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
And
Why is it triggering now? That could have gone a little better. Hello there. I'm James, you're you. We're here, I think. Okay. You guys will have to let me know about the audio. I think I found the problem, but I said that last week. So how's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. You'll notice, oh yeah, it's right here. I'm trying to do the combined chat thing since we're on Twitch and YouTube's. We'll see how that works out. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Wait. No, wait a minute. I didn't think that emojis would still work. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I thought you had to be affiliate. I wonder if they changed it. Anyway. Yeah, so the previous problem was some audio static, and it was an interaction between RTK voice or broadcast and OBS. And so I'm using a completely different noise reduction plugin and a completely different audio routing. So there shouldn't be an issue, but you know how that goes. So, all right, what are we doing tonight? Or this morning, depending on where you are. Let's go to the overhead. Yeah, that looks good. So if you remember from weeks ago, this is the CERBERUS. It is a single board computer with a, can't tell who is who. I'm pretty sure that's anyway, one of these chips is a 6502 and the others is the 80. And even though this computer has both processors, only one can control the bus at a time. So it's not really a dual core, since you can only use one, or dual CPU, since you can only use one or the other. But the thing is this has this expansion port, and for this expansion port, we made, where'd it go? A logic analyzer adapter, so that this will, yeah, it's this one. So that this plugs in, and then you can plug in a digital discovery, like we did on the Mega 2 project. And over here, and then I made a board, a Blinky board, that can plug into this adapter and make blinking LED patterns. And this, I think, is either looking at, it's looking at the data bus. Now, what happened the last time we streamed, did I just realize another problem? No. Wait a minute. Okay. What happened last time we streamed is I soldered this chip onto the board and then realized it's the wrong chip. So I have the correct chips now, I think. Yep. These are definitely 57573s. They are. So first thing we got to do is get this chip off and then put this one on. So I'm not going to bother with, I'm going to go grab the hot air station because that's going to make short work of this. I actually forgot the chip was already on there. My bad. Let me go grab that real quick. Ouch. Actually, we'll need these and this and this. Why are these over here? Oh, because I was soldering. That's why. I actually, for the first time in like 5 years, I used my soldering station, like my soldering bench, to actually solder. It was really nice, except until now when I have to move everything so that I can do this instead. All right, so let's make room for this guy. And then it's going to need power. So you know what the best option is going to be? Let's just take the power from the other soldering iron. And we'll use that. Oh, I need one more stupid thing. Yeah, we'll go get that real quick. Which may already have a board on it. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine. This will work just fine. Oh, we're not soldering that. No. No. Okay. Bring this in a bit. Bring this in a bit. Is this going to get us close enough? I think so. All right. Is it me or is that blurry? Oh, well. It's probably time for my annual eye exam. All right, so we'll get this turned on. I need one more thing, but let's get this heating up. So I got a hot air station here. Here's the tool. Let's take this up to 350, and I'm going to go get a plate. Oh, is my flux over here? I feel like I ran. Oh, you know, I'm also going to put these on because I had that one little mishap. That one time, and now I'm worried about losing my eyes. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, that looks super cool. Oh, look at that. There's some random polymer capacitors on this plate. I wonder what that could be from. Those on Instagram might know. I still don't see my flux, though. Okay. This, of course, this is happening. I cleaned my desk before the stream, and now I can't find anything. Whatever. That's dumb. I will let you figure that out on your own. I don't think it's that difficult to figure out. All right, let's pump this guy up. And then we'll take one of these. All right. Want more heat. Yeah, because of my clean desk. That's why. Yeah, it was actually, I don't know. I was really thinking about why it's so hard to keep a clean desk sometimes. And it's like, part of my problem is just simply, as a freelancer, I'm constantly working on multiple projects, and it's really hard for me to only have what I'm actively doing on my desk. And it's actually pretty rare that I have like things are what some people call done. I believe it's a French word to mean version 2. There we go. All right. Okay. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have just had the next chip ready to go. Because this is going to take no time to solder back in. No. ATZ, you got a Nakatomi shirt too? Yeah, I've actually started to see a couple variations of this one. Like I feel like, of course, I'm going to say this just because I have it. I feel like this is the original. And then the other day, I can't remember where I was at or what I was doing, but I saw somebody had a slightly different one on. Like the font was different, the graphic was a little different. You know, they do. Yeah, we'll just use the flux. Who cares? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Flux always helps. The primary purpose of flux is to remove any surface level oxidation, as well as sometimes some other contaminants. So it's always going to be helpful when you're heating metals up, especially if the metals have been exposed to air for any period of time. There's very, very few cases where you don't want to use flux. And I would say they're rare enough that the problem is I'm looking at this at an angle, so I can't actually see it. And I don't know if there's enough solder to get the surface tension. I can't see it from where I'm sitting. And I want to be careful to move it now because okay, it never soldered. All right, let's clean this up and start over. What are you talking about? I just moved it a couple times and it didn't want to move. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I'll move. Yeah, okay. I'm going to reuse that one, but we're going to clean these pads up and try again. Hey, Ramones, good to see you. Half solderist. That was, yeah, I should have realized there was a bunch of old flux on, like from removing the other chip. It was just kind of not that great. And I guess if I look at this now, there's really not that much solder on here. Okay, I'm just going to do it with the iron. Because I got to clean up the pads anyway. So I'm waiting for the hot air tool to cool down. Oh, I shouldn't do that. That's a terrible idea. So I'm waiting for the hot air tool to cool down so I can take it off the desk. And then I'll use a regular soldering iron to, we'll just do a drag solder. So what do you guys think about all the news around the RPG 2350 and all the issues with the GPIOs? That's kind of not great. Come on. Oops. Hey, Silent. Good to see you, man. Hey, I got a quick question for you, Silent. What's the, didn't you ask me about a device that you can plug into AC mains and then you plug in like something into that and then it it has a built-in Wi-Fi to give readings? I feel like you asked me about something like that. And if so, I would like to I'd like to know what that was because I kind of had a need for one. Okay. Hey, Francois. Good to see you. How's your projects going? There we go. All right. So step one, oh, step one is plug in the iron. Duh. The kilowatt. But did the kilowatt have a but did it have like MQTT or something? Like I want one, yeah, see I want one that has Wi-Fi already. I basically what I wanted was a kilowatt with Wi-Fi. Because I wanted to actually monitor how much current draw that was happening on a bench power supply on the AC side. I mean, nothing major. I just thought it'd be fun to actually watch that. And yeah. All right. So I am not using this iron. No. No, no, no. That's my 100-watt iron. I needed that for this power supply eval board I was working with. And then this one, I think is, yeah, it's this one. So I can turn that on. And now we'll be good to go. Dug into 68. Oh, it's the 68, huh? That's I'm assuming even the HC05 is like the Motorola processor, which I know like nothing about. The primary way you keep the hot air tool from hitting things is to not touch them. In terms of the LEDs, I just didn't worry about it because I was directing the air mostly over here, so it wasn't bad. But yeah, if you've got LEDs and a hot air tool, you actually want to try avoid direct heat on them because you can burn the lens. If you want to hot air solder LEDs, do it from the back side of the board. But the total kind of the area I'm on right now, or the area I was targeting, was pretty small. All right, cool. So now we can get some solder, which I need to feed through here. All right, so it's a 6800. Oh, right. I think you've actually talked, either you've mentioned those on a stream or you talked about them on Mastodon. Or was it you or somebody else that made a replacement board for them? Actually, I'm going to do this different than I normally do because I have a much better angle from over here. Yeah, I like that much better. Is this the one I was using? Oh, okay. I'm getting myself confused. All right, so then we can grab this because I want this to come on to here. And I might not get it lined up on the first try. And if not, well, then I'll just do it off camera and you won't even know. Yeah, actually, that's going to look really good. All right, so now we'll come over to the other pin, the other corner, and get it tacked in place. All right, and now we're going to flux everything. And I'm going to get a nice solder bubble going. Then we're just going to drag across. So it would be nice if I had a bigger tip for this, but it will have to do. All right. And then we'll rinse and repeat. I really wish my soldering station had an hour counter. I would really like to know how many hours I've spent soldering with it. I wonder if there's like a maintenance menu somewhere that has that. Because it should have a pretty decent number for how long it's been on, the heating element, I mean. All right, so now we'll grab some of this. Where's my snips? A flat tip, yeah, a flat tip would be really nice. These are, I use chisels, but the hoof tip is, I think sometimes it's called. It looks like the hoof of an animal. Those are absolutely, actually, there's a variant that is, it's flat with a slight concave, like it's slightly concave in the middle, and so it really holds a nice bubble of solder. That's fantastic for drag soldering. I have one somewhere, but it's, to me, it's just I don't do enough of it that it's worth swapping out. Like I did one day, or at one point, I had considered buying enough of these. So the soldering iron is 3 pieces, and so I thought about buying enough of the holder piece to have one for like each of my types of tips, so I could just swap them out real fast. And then instead, I didn't. Hey, 3D Printer Shack, I totally forgot to say thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. All right. And so the next Atoms video is actually going to feature this Cerberus computer. I'm hoping this Blinky board works as expected. If not, then I might not show it. But basically, I'll just do an overview of this computer, which we'll talk, once we got this done, I'll do a little bit of that tonight, just because we'll be looking at it. But it's a modern computer, modern single board computer with 8-bit processors. All right, that looks like we got a little bubble on that one. I mean, I should have just done this with the hot air. I was having such a hard time seeing we were lined up. There we go. All right, let's see what that looks like. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to cheat and look at it with the microscope real quick. A Heiko silver plated tip. I don't think I know what would you do with a silver plated tip? Welcome to the stream. All right, so my expert analysis says that side looks okay. Definitely need to clean up the flux. And this side looks okay. And now I'm going to actually make sure I put pin 1 on pin 1. Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, so one of the projects we need to do is, I have one of these USB microscopes, but it's got a screen on it, so it works without USB. I broke the USB port, and then I bought a replacement USB port, and it was the wrong one. So I bought a whole bunch of USB ports, hoping that one of them will fit. I think I also broke the micro SD card socket, which is really a pain, because without the USB socket, I can't really use it. Like I wouldn't mind using just the micro SD if USB wasn't working, but it's like I need to be able to get images off of it somehow. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna double check that I actually put the right chip on. Hey, Christian, good to see you. Oh, lead-free temperatures doesn't oxidize fast. Interesting. Okay. Is that something that you have to only use with SAC or lead-free solder, since it has this? Because that SAC is what 10. Yeah, it's 10 silver and copper, isn't it? I think that's what the C stands for. Okay, I'm just going to throw this one away. Because I don't... Okay. So I'm just going to do this, try to get rid of a bunch of the flux residue. And go for there. Late night pain and suffering. Used to have a soldering iron that was good for anything but soldering. Yeah. I've got a really close friend of mine, and years ago he was really debating about spending about, at the time it was $100 for a Heiko 888. I think that's the one he got. And for weeks he was debating on if he wanted to spend that kind of money on a soldering iron, especially because he only solders once, maybe once a month would be considered a lot for him. And the first night he used it, he was like, oh my God, a real soldering iron makes all the difference. And it really is. It's like, I mean, and you don't have to spend $100. That's just that seems to be kind of a magic number. There's a lot in the, I'd say the $50 range. But if you're spending less than $20 on a soldering iron, the chances are it'll work, but it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. And if you only need it one time, it might actually be worth it not to spend a lot of money. But yeah, there's a lot of options that, like, I've had my Heikos for probably a decade now. I still use it, but I don't use it for soldering. Yeah, the AAA, the Heiko 888 was probably, I feel like that was just a really good sweet spot. Today, I would actually look at those USB-C. Oh, that is definitely not good. I couldn't see that before. Got a bridge in here. Like I bought a TS80, or I guess Pine Sil is the more common brand. I think it's a brand. I don't remember if it's the actual product name, but those are actually, I have a hard time recommending them as your go-to soldering iron. But if you only need to solder every once in a while, those are actually pretty decent irons. They have a decent feature set, selection of tips. Yeah, like the one I have, it's a TS80 with USB-C. I can solder with a battery pack. It's pretty nice. I just lost my solder. Oh, because I moved that on top of it. For building drones, I assume you either use leaded solder or solder with a higher silver content so that it's more viable for vibrations from the drones. Or at least I would. Okay, Pine Sil's from Pine 64. Okay, yeah. That's what just based on the things I've seen, that's what I wish I would have gotten. My TS80 isn't terrible, and if somebody was looking at it, I'd still recommend it. But it just seems like the Pine Sils are you serious? Still looks like. I actually can't tell if it's fluxed in there or if there's, yeah, see, like that I can see now. Must have just done that. Yep, there it is. So when I'm not doing this on camera, drag soldering is really fast, but I'm also able to see what I'm doing the whole time, so it's a little bit easier to get things to work as expected. And actually, if my USB microscope was working, I would be doing this all with the microscope, and that makes it so much easier. Okay, I'm much happier with that now. All right. I know as soon as I don't do this, I'm not going to use it. Yeah, actually, you like your pine cells well as good as much as a Weller. Yeah, that's why I said early on I was really struggling with recommending those kind of compact soldering irons, but the reality is if they work for you, then go for it. They're I was really shocked at how functional they are. I did not expect to be able to do so much with them. We actually did, this was a couple of years ago, we did a stream where I soldered a soldering kit. I had my TS80 connected to a battery pack and then ran it for like an hour, and I never even noticed. In fact, one of the reasons I bought mine was because I always planned to do this and it never happened. I was going to replace in my car. I was going to replace the navigation screen with a generic LCD and maybe like a Raspberry Pi or something. And I was like, well, if I get this battery or a soldering iron I can power from a battery, I should call it, then I'll be able to solder in the car really easily. I mean, not when I'm moving, obviously, because that would be silly. You can't solder while you're texting and driving. That's just crazy. Really? So you can only select, so the 2350, you can only select an offset of 16 or 8. That doesn't sound right. At least from the data sheet, it really felt like they were talking about how you should be able to select any group, but it had to be continuous. I don't know. With all the problems they're having with the IO drivers, I'm starting to wonder if the 2350 was actually ready for prime time. It just seems like there's a couple of too many issues. Okay, so that board is done. So then let's put all of this stuff somewhere else. Turn the iron off. Wait, see, I knew it. I didn't. Every single time I put the iron down just now, I was putting, oh, I guess I did. Never mind. I always put a blob of solder on before I shut it off. That actually, so I found a 2040 quirk with the PIO that I wasn't expecting, which I don't know if it'll be on the 2350, but I had 2 state machines in the same module, and I used an IRQ to flag from one to the other. And let me make sure I think of this right. So when the other state machine gets the flag, after the interrupt service routine it runs, the state machine resets, and I can't figure out why. I don't see anything in my code that would cause it to restart, but it took me forever to find it because I thought the state machine was actually locked up, and in fact, so instead it was getting reset, and I can't figure out why. That doesn't make sense to me that would happen. So I must be overlooking something with the way that the ARM or C side handles interrupts through with the PIO. Because I have proven to myself that if the interrupt handler on the ARM side doesn't run, then the interrupt still occurs, but the PIO doesn't reset. Actually, I need to try that. Okay, well. Yeah, that's really weird, Christian, because my reading of the data sheet is that you can do that you can select any contiguous 32 pins but it doesn't have to be on a boundary. And so and in fact, if you've run into a case where that doesn't work, I'd like to know that, because for the state mode logic analyzer, that's going to be a problem. So, all right. So if I look at this, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Didn't I figure out that I pinned this out wrong? Oh, I know what's going on now. Yeah, the board is completely in the wrong place. So this is X clock over here. This is X clock. This is ground. The ground is on the inside, so that'll be ground. And then down here should be XN. And over here is, okay. So that's the actual problem is, the problem is, I guess I can do this. Oh, but I'm not gonna be able to get that on camera. What if I put this one in? So this is our logic analyzer adapter. And then is there something I have that I could go like that? Or, yeah, so I wonder if I have a right angle. Let me think I'm going to go grab my headers. So what is the intended use case? So just to recap on this computer, so there's a 6502 and a Z80, which are connected to 3 CPLDs, which are really simple FPGAs, but they're also relatively complicated devices. So it's complex programmable logic device. It's a little bit, they're more capable than just a PLD or GAL. PLD is programmable logic device. GAL is a gate array logic. Like the GAL 16 is typically the chip you think of from Lattice. So there's kind of a step function in the CPLD's capability. And so these 3 chips are basically the video system, the IO controller, and the bus arbitrator between the 2 processors. And so the real main purpose of this computer is to be a learning device. So you can either learn how to use the Z80 or the 6502, learn to program them in BBC Basic or assembly. And then there's also the opportunity to reprogram these logic chips to change the behavior of the computer, which is my primary interest. And in fact, I bought the microchip programmer so that I can reprogram them. I just haven't had a chance to get to doing any of that. So it's a modern computer that's using vintage technology just as a learning tool. Now, Bernardo, the person that created it, he's very, very adamant about how it's not meant to play games, which frankly, I think is just going to cause more people to want to try to write games for it. You know? Because anytime you have a platform that is limited, that just for some reason gets people really excited to try and do things it's not supposed to do. So I'm going through a box of headers. I'm trying to see if I have something that can, if I have any right angle double row. Yeah, I think that's what I want. Yeah, okay. All right. A long time ago, I wrote down a list of header part numbers to remember. And then I just bought them all. And now I don't remember where that list is at. So I hope I never run out because I won't know how to reorder them. Let's put this up here. Interesting. Microchip. So Microchip It's actually in, so these CPLDs are actually an Atmel device. It's the ATF 15, I think. I think ATF 15 is like, that's the Google term that'll get you where you need to go. And so it's actually a Atmel device, but since Microchip bought Atmel, they rebranded at least the programmer as Microchip. I think the chips still have an Atmel logo on them. Okay, so here's my thought. I put the headers back in the box. Let's see if this works, because I was messing with some stuff. Oh, yeah, that works. Oh, 2x right angle header. All right, my bad. Okay, so what do we have in here? I don't think I have one that's 40 wide, which would be way too easy. So that's I think that's the biggest one I have. And that doesn't, do these two go next to each other? But they're different lengths, which I learned from the Mega 2 project that can be problematic. So then how big are these? I'm not counting them. I'm just going to try. Plus I'm bad at counting anyway. It's too much like math. Okay, so these two are pretending like they will go together. I wonder if I plug this into here, so, which is great because now I can just easily solder it real quick. But my question is, so X clock is over here, which goes to here, and the inside is ground. And then down here, XN, and then the inside goes ground. Okay, so if I do this, and then I can plug this on here. Okay. Oh, wow, look. Look, I forgot. I completely and totally designed this so that it went around the header. That wasn't accidental at all. Moving on. Taking a Shelly 1 p.m. and wiring it to the ends of an extension cord inside a project make Wi-Fi. So does the Shelly have power monitoring capability? Open a Microchip datasheet and see the text is all like Atmel. Yeah, actually, I mean, for years I didn't switch to the Microchip version of the ATmega 328p datasheet because number one, how much could it have possibly changed? And number two is I knew where everything was at in the Atmel version. It's like, yeah. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave that connected because that's going to help line things up. You know, that scratching noise is going to drive me crazy. Yeah, actually, Christian, what I was just saying about that. Come on. All right, that should be warm enough. Okay, now we can go and get some solder. Okay, one thing I am going to do, because I can't stand this thing scraping, is I'm going to get my special tool that helps in situations like this. There we go. Nailed it. For some reason, I'm going every other pin. I don't know. What I ought to do is just flood this thing with, nah. I don't want to drag solder this because cleaning up the flux after is painful. This is fine. This gives me time to think about things like what I'm going to eat for dinner, what a nice day it was. all the tomatoes I have. Oh my God. So this year is my first year trying to do an outside garden for like real. A couple years ago, I got a Aero Garden, which is a hydroponic system for indoors. And last year, I tried to move some of the plants outside, and I had some success. Like, and when I say some of the plants, I mean like 5. And so this year, at my peak, I had I think 25 plants growing, all vegetables or herbs, and my pro my 3 most prolific plants are a habanero bush, or a pre-grown habanero plant that I bought at the store. It I don't know what to do with all the habaneros that it's grown. And then the other 2 are cherry tomato plants that I was making a salad for lunch, and I looked at the seeds. So I bought the tomatoes at the store, and I was looking at the seeds, and I was like, I wonder if I can grow tomatoes from these. And those 2 plants are just doing just crazy. I mean, I get a handful of cherry at this stage. I'm getting a handful of cherry tomatoes from them every day. And they actually taste good, which is not always the case when you grow store-bought produce from a seed. I don't still fully understand all the details around that yet. Part of the problem is with a hobby like gardening, there's a lot of people who don't actually have, I'll say, a technical background, and so they repeat things that they've heard, but without thinking about why people say them. And so I see people will mention things about, especially pollination, because they've heard about they've heard about things like cross-pollinating, say, squash and tomatoes. And the 2 plants actually pollinate slightly different. And so I see people giving advice based on what they know about one type of plant, but it doesn't apply to another. And I think it's partially because, it's just, from an engineer's perspective, whenever we learn something, we always try to incorporate into the model we already know. And if there's something that doesn't make sense, then we ask questions about, well, why doesn't this make sense? And then, that's how we expand our knowledge. So anyway, PM stands for the power meter. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Hey, Jim, good to see you. Hey, RJ Helms. It's great to see you on a stream. Bald eats. Like good eats, but balder. Not that I'm ever going to be at an Alton Brown level, but I've watched so many Good Eats episodes that I really wish I could replicate his presentation style. I like my favorite ever is he's in a grocery store, and I don't this is terrible because I don't remember what he was talking about, but he's walking around, basically up one aisle and then down another, but he's like kind of doing it in a circle. And as he's talking about the ingredients and something related to them, somebody's throwing down the stuff to him, and he's putting it in his cart. And it's just one continuous take. And it's like, that is so crazy. Like I said, I'll never get to that level, but gosh, do I wish I could present things like he does. Come on. All right. Okay. I'm going to actually click on this now so that I have it open later, and I can take a look at that. What's on the screen? Okay. Yeah, I feel really bad about the company Wiznet. They make the W500 chipset, which for years was the only way you could add Ethernet to an Arduino. And like about a month ago, they started teasing a new chip that is an RP2040 and one of their Ethernet Macs combined together. I kind of feel bad for them because I think they were announcing the product like the same time the 2350 came out. And so it's like, yeah, no, that's cool, that's great, except nobody cares about the 2040 anymore. Oh. So no oh no. Oh, okay. Actually, if I think there is something in the datasheet about the PIO instance not being able to do that. Yeah. Yeah. The whole instance. Hmm. Yeah, actually, I thought all I read was okay. I want to go look at that later because what I read was the PI. So each PIO module could only access 32 IO pins. Period. So you couldn't have one state machine talk to channel. They had to be 32 continuous. So you couldn't have within one PIO module. You couldn't have one state machine talk to pin GPIO 1 and 47. That would not be possible. But I understood it as just a sliding scale. So I wonder if that's actually not the case. Because from a hardware perspective, I can kind of understand how that's a problem because the PIOs themselves are still only 32-bit state machines. And so everything is built around 32-bit. So it would make sense to me that the MUX would not be able to arbitrarily get like pins 0, 0, 1, and then 30 of the tops, like 47 down to, what is that, 11, that it would still have to be continuous. But I think you're saying you can't cross that boundary at all, unless I misunderstand the bug you're running into. Okay. Actually, yeah, actually, Silent, this Shelly 1 p.m. Gen 3, I think that's exactly what I was looking for. Although, I guess what I wanted something that had a plug on it, but this would be easy enough to wire up inside of a little thing. Yeah, I don't think it's a software limitation. I think it's going to be a limitation with the MUX. That's my guess. I don't see why the SDK would be limited, unless what you're saying is maybe what you run into, maybe that's a problem with the SDK. And you know what? And come to think of it, I was only reading the RP2350's data sheet. So maybe from the hardware side, they're like, oh yeah, you could totally do this. But then the SDK is like, nope, you can't do that. That would actually make a little more sense to me. Or that not that it would make more sense to me. I find that as a reasonable or a plausible explanation about what you're seeing and what I've read. The hardware, maybe it is a case the hardware can do it, but the software isn't implemented. Uh, no. I mean, I actually think there's quite a few devices that aren't UL because I think even in the US, or maybe it's only in Europe, but the CE spec should supersede UL. At least the last time I was involved in that kind of stuff. I'm sure there's applications where UL matters more than CE, but I think from a what do I care about in my house? If it's got if a device has either covered, it's probably fine. But in the event in the future, I wish I hadn't said that. I didn't say that. Need to get some more IPA, not the good kind. Okay, so this is going to plug into here. I wasn't planning to use the logic analyzer, but we can use the adapter. Oh wait, shoot. Nope, this has to plug in here. And then this is going to plug into, make sure, clock, ground, ground. Okay. hold on. I'm going to do a quick DMM check. I want to make sure I'm not overlooking something. Okay. Well, that's not good. Oh, jeez. There. Okay. Okay, that's not shorter. Okay, and then let's just check up here. Basically, just want to check. Okay, couple pins to make sure we don't have a really dumb mistake. Oh, I didn't put the power LED on this one. Oh well. Oh, I'm not worried about homeowners insurance. I didn't buy into that scam. Like, it's only good if you're going to burn your house down. That's really simple. Just don't. Duh. Sometimes people make things way too complicated. All right. So we'll plug this in. And then I don't know if you guys are going to hear it, but it's going to make a little doo-doo sound. Did you guys hear that? All right. So this is actually interesting. So I think, oh, you know what? That's actually not good. That actually tells me this LED is not connected. And as I look at it, I can pretty much confirm that. So let's see if that changes. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I think I was going to go back through and hit these with hot air from the backside to try to clean them up. And I never did that because I had the wrong chip. Okay, I'm not going to worry about D7 right now. So basically, this is supposed to be D0 through 3, 4 through 7. 7's not lighting up. It's not on the pads correctly. And so I'm wondering either it's not soldered, maybe it's backward. Let's just ignore it for the moment. One thing I did forget is I'm supposed to set this header, but I don't remember to what or why. So let's take a quick look at the KiCad file and see if we can remember. Let me get the file loaded and then I'll switch over the computer screen. Blinky, KiCad, let's open up that. Okay, now I can go over to here. Is this gonna work? Oh, look at that. All right, so I am talking about this header. It's the latch enable for this, which is why we are, okay. So now what I need to go find is let's pull this up. CERBERUS 2100 hardware manual. I don't remember which pin does what. I don't think any of those commands are going to work. Which link are you wanting to get to, Jim? We don't have the good bot anymore, so it was officially retired. Okay, so I want to look for now. I can't remember if I want X clock or XSLC. edit. Let's go look for, okay, that's the header that we're working with right now. So X clock is the CPU clock and XLC is the strobe. Okay, so for the moment, I think I want X clock. Thanks, Christian. Yeah, I should have got that prepared beforehand and I totally forgot. Okay, I need a header, a jumper, which should be in here. There's no jumpers in here. Wait, what? It's because they're in here. Oh, where are we at? There's also a GitHub for the logic analyzer adapter too. I don't remember exactly. I think it's something super clever like CERBERUS logic analyzer adapter. Okay, so what did I just find out? I want to try putting it on clock first. So we're going to do this. All right, now let's see what happens. That's disappointing. So I wonder if latch enable is even toggling. So if I go from here to here, 5 volts, we're not doing anything. Interesting. Is there a reset button on here? It's probably underneath where I'm at. Well, no, that can't be right. Because if I go from here to here, that's 5 volts too. Okay. I want to connect to there and there. I'm going to get some mini grabbers. Let's see. Am I using this one right now? Not anymore. Sucker. The intern will just have to go and find another set of cables. Ha ha ha. Hey, 48K RAM. Great to see you, by the way. We are getting beeps, but we're not getting any clock beats. Ah, see? Beats instead of beeps. So clever. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this to this pin and this to this pin. That one. All right. And then I want to see what Mr. DMM has to say about all this. So when I plug this in, okay. Wait a minute. 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 I have an idea. So there's buffers on this board for the data lines and the address lines. But I wonder if Yeah, I need to pull the, I need to actually enable them, which I think, oh man. So this says to do that, simply pull XE low. Darn it, I'm already doing that. Bummer. Okay, I'm going to take this off. We're going to try something else. So I want to get onto I really want to be on this pin right here, but I'm not going to get there with this. Can't think of what I have that would work the way I want. I guess what I could do. No. Okay, I want to try something else. I have another troubleshoot. I think it's time to plug in a scope, but I'm going to look at the other clock and just see if I have like a dumb mistake. See, that's really suspicious. That's super suspicious. That's suspicious. Okay. All right. Okay, we need a scope. I'm really hoping my DMM scope is charged because it will be, yeah, I guess I could get the analog discovery. Yahas. That's actually what I needed. Come on, please be charged, please be charged, please be charged. Sweet. All right, let's go to mode. I did a Workbench Wednesdays review of this unit, and I found for the price, it's fine. But yeah. So, and then I actually did a review of these probes, which I bought after seeing them from somebody else. I think it was Squire, actually. I think he was using them, and I'm like, I want that. And so I bought some, and then I did a review of them, which might be the only review I've done on Workbench Wednesdays that wasn't sponsored, which is always funny to me. Can you please review our products? Yes, but you have to pay for it. Like, okay, well, that's not going to be an honest review then. But I'm not the one that makes the rules, so it won't be a problem much longer. Come on. Get on that pin, would you? Why are you being so... Like, for real? Oh, God. What? Who broke my thing? Son of a gun. Well, shoot. I think my, let's see, what do I want? These will work. I think my square pin header adapter has been damaged because it's not going onto the pins, which are causing me to damage the pins. And this is why you don't make connections when you're powered, because this would have borked up everything. Ugh, what a mess. All right. I wonder if I have one of these available. As opposed to smart mistakes. I don't know. Smart mistakes are a good thing because if you can learn from them. Dumb mistakes, you don't learn anything. See what I did there? I just turned it around to be super positive. I won't rub it in though because I'm super humble. Yeah, I still don't like these. Yeah. Go get the other kind. That's not what I'm looking for. Why isn't what I'm looking for where it's supposed to be? Because it's one of my streams, that's why. Oh. Seriously. This is where that bag goes. And I'll bet it's not. Come on. Really? I haven't put. Seriously. Now, why would it be over here? That makes no sense. That's okay. It's not over there either. This is an awful lot of work to connect to a pin. I don't feel like it should have been this hard. Why isn't my bag right here? I have a MSO bag. Oh, I know what I've got. Oh. I don't know why I have to go find this though. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay. These will work. This is for the MSO for my Regal 2000 that I bought, and then a week later, Roden Schwartz sent me a scope. I was like, wait, what? So I like used the scope for like a month. I've never used these MSO leads though. I don't even know if I've ever plugged this MSO cable into my scope. All right, there we go. Now we got something good going on. Yep, you just grab, okay. Well, that was a long way to get there, but we got there. Hey, Alex. This scope probe adapter is not a standard, but it's a, it's from Caltest, CALTEST. The adapter itself is about $20, and then they charge, depends on the bandwidth of the probe, but these are compatible with a couple of PMK probes. So there's some compatibility with some lower end probes. But yeah, the adapter itself you can get from them for about $20, which isn't cheap, but considering what it does, it's probably worth it. All right. Well, you don't have to be an oscilloscope wizard to see that this is not doing anything. Okay, so now I'm going to move this to the other clock signal and see if it's doing anything. That wouldn't do anything. Why would I? Okay. Well, I don't understand why we don't have a clock here. Like, there should be one right there. Oh my goodness. There is a clock there. How do you do the channel? Channel 1, does this change it? This changes it. Yeah, that's it. It is running, but it's not getting through my adapter. Where's the trigger again? Hmm. Hmm. Is it? I'll have to look at that. I don't know. I still think that just dual streaming is against TOS, but I don't remember. I do remember they don't like you injecting chat from other sources, though. That I remember reading. Okay, so why for? Let's try this again and just see if I am just completely daft. Why is it beeping when that happens? Okay, next, let's take out the new thing. Because I've used this adapter with the logic analyzer, so I'm fairly certain there's nothing wrong with it, unless I messed up something when I soldered on the headers. Well, crap. That's what I was looking for. So I wonder why this is giving us problems. Uh, um, I got an idea. Have I been in any TwitchCons? No, I've never done TwitchCon. I went to VidCon one year, and I'll never go again. It's just a bunch. If and I imagine TwitchCon had to be worse than VidCon. It's just a ton of kids running around without their parents the entire time. It is a nightmare. And like in the case of VidCon, I went to a couple of panels that, I mean, I'm not really into a lot of the personalities that show up at those things, and so I don't really get it. So the only reason to go is if there's a streamer that you're really interested in meeting. Um, but even that, you probably have to pay tickets or wait in a massive line or something like that. So, okay, something is wrong. I'm curious if I touch these. Okay, and then do we have, what about shorting to ground or 5 volts? So what if I put the chip on upside down? I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I wonder if, so let's go look at the PCB. Something's causing that clock signal to so if I have this upside down, then 11 would be on ground, ground would be down here, and then this chip would be biased backward. All right, now I'm going to get out the microscope again. And maybe we will end up fixing this because I clearly needed it more than once today. I mean, there's definitely conferences I would recommend, especially if you like electronics, like SuperCon or Teardown, the Open. Ooh, wait a minute. The Open Hardware Summit. Those are all what I would say very accessible, even if you don't like being around people, because there's plenty of people like that as well. And so there's not really like a, oh, yeah, nope, that's not soldered to anything. Still doesn't explain why we're getting a dead signal, though. It's over there, it's over here. I know you can't see what I'm looking at. I apologize. We need to fix that at some point. Okay, so that's not working. It doesn't look connected either. So I'm looking at the chip now, and I am positive I got pin 1 in the right place. The only thing I'm noticing, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. I just found two or three, so the chip's not grounded. I think the ground pin is not actually connected to something, so I wonder if it's causing some kind of load on the input signals. Come on, why don't you? So I'm going to try and gently, solder it. All right, and then I saw this pin is bad too. All right, and then I saw one over here I didn't like. I'm just going to hit them with my iron and see if they get soldery. That's nice. That's nice too. Boy, I wish I could show you guys how beautiful these solder joints are. They're the best solder joints I've ever done. Like, hands down, I could win a contest. They're so gorgeous. It's a shame I can't show you. Make it to a VCF sometime. Oh, that's too bad you didn't go, or you're not going. Yeah, I actually completely forgot that VCF Midwest is this weekend. I had actually wanted to have a table to try to sell some of my computers, but I'm going to try to get over there Saturday morning and check it out. This year it's at a new venue, which is actually closer to my house than previous years, so I'm happy about that. And it's supposed to be much larger, so that should be nice. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's plug this in. So I've been to VCF Midwest a couple of times, and then I think I've been to the West Coast one at the home. That's what it was. I'll be damned. That's crazy.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay. Yeah. Well, you like being around people, not crowds. Fair enough. And that's what I like. So like so Teardown is held by Crowd Supply, which is basically a crowdfunding site for hardware projects, which is actually, they do a really strong vetting process, which is why I don't mind talking about Crowd Supply projects on Hackster. Anyway, Teardown I really like it because it's not it's maybe 100 people, but it's divided up in such a way that there's not normally a large crowd, except for like maybe at the very beginning of the day and at the end of the day kind of thing where everybody gets together to figure out what's going on. Um, and it's really easy to kind of get off by yourself or go off by yourself and to regroup or to hang out with a couple of people. You know, it's never overwhelming. Whereas like, and I still think everybody should go to SuperCon at least once. SuperCon can be a little overwhelming because it's a ton of people in a really tight space almost the entire time, which is unfortunate because it's really fun and it's really cool. There's lots of things to do there, but it's much more crowded. So, okay. So multiple things, and I just noticed this too. So now our bit 7 is working. The lights are all lit up. Nice. So what I'm wondering is, I wonder if we could do something like, okay, I wonder if we can do, well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this down here because I want to come back. So basically, these 8 LEDs are on the data bus for whichever processor is active right now. So we got to go find out what one is actually working. You know, the other thing we could do real quick is we'll look at one more thing, and then let's go ahead and unpower this just because I've already had so much trouble. I'm going to connect this to data 0, and let's just see if data 0 is doing anything on the scope. Okay, I don't know if you guys caught it. It is doing some stuff. You know what I'm going to do is trigger, go to normal sweep mode so it only updates when there's something interesting to see. And then I'll bet if I just do this, shoot, I need to plug in this. Is there not? Oh, my keyboard's not connected. Okay. Okay, well, no wonder the keyboard wasn't doing anything. I was kind of surprised that there wasn't data when I was using the keyboard, but if it's not plugged in, that's a pretty typical failure mode. Plug that in, plug in this. All right, so where I was going is I put this into normal sweep mode, so now you can see the data bus is only doing things sometimes. So these signals, I think, are actually active. Or are they? Wait a minute. I don't think they should be on all the time. Unless they're active high. Okay, if these were high impedance, then these would be off. Or not on. So they're being driven right now. Even though I don't see any activity on the bus. Uh-oh. Huh. Okay. Well, let's come over here. This should be active. Now, just a FYI, there is a 1 second delay. There's something wrong with, well, the capture device I'm using isn't very good. So there's like a 1 second delay, like I'll press A and it takes almost a second for it to show up. So which mode am I in? I'm in 6502. So it should be able to do, I forgot what the basic is. The basic command is. I'm going to try something. I'm going to switch to Z80 real quick. Okay. I can see the lights flickering when I type stuff. So the bus is active low. What is the basic command? Can't remember. I don't think it's just basic. Is it 6502 basic? No, maybe basic 6502. There it is. Okay. So if I do 10 print, hello, 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 hello. Now I know the data bus is super active. Okay. So I can see that these two lights are dimmer than the other lights. So it is working. I break and it goes back to, they're all the same brightness. So it's really looking like this bus is active high. Or active low. Right? Because if this was a low, then there's nothing that would turn the LED on. Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like this. Mm. Hmm. Yeah. So I don't want to go through all this right now. I don't understand why this would be the case. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, okay. I'm still confused why it works this way, but I just realized the scope has already proven this to us. Because if I come back in here and I go back to the monitor, and then I tell the trigger circuit to go to auto. Yeah, okay. So I don't understand. I'm shocked by this. I wasn't expecting this. So the bus, this is 0 volts down here. This is 5 volts. The bus is idle. It's idling at 5 volts. Whoops. Okay. Yeah, rev in +1. I really want to dive in now and understand how this could even possibly work, because the 65, unless the CPLDs are inverting it for the external bus, maybe? Because the 6502 is not an active high for the data bus. I mean, that or I hit my head one day and I don't remember how to read it. Okay. Well, shoot. So, okay, let's try something else. I don't know if we're going to make this work or not, but we're going to try. So this other setting is supposed to only latch when we send data to the card. So I think, yeah. So the scope is still going to show activity because we're talking no matter what. But if I go into basic, which way is it? I do 10. Nope. That was just whatever. Whatever. That's interesting. That's not working. The lights are still dimming even though they're not supposed to. What was the audio issue? Hey Cags, good to see you. Interaction between RTX voice and OBS. And so the thing that I finally figured it out was up here I have my social media names show up as a graphic animation, and when that clip restarts, that's when I noticed the corruption. And so I basically got rid of RTX voice. In fact, I should have made sure it wasn't even running. Yeah, that's not, or it wasn't. So I switched to a software based noise reduction. Okay, so all right. Yeah, this isn't working how I expected it, because I want to come back to here. So in theory, what I should be able to do is there is a address I can write to. All control signals are active low. Yeah, what about the input and outputs though? Why are they active high? That's still bothering me. I feel like that's just something's not right. Hold on. Because I don't remember that happening when we were doing the logic analyzer stuff. So I'm going to take my card back off again and see if something else is giving us problems. So then I can plug this back on. Where did that go? I want to know which one is data 0. So it should be, looks like maybe this one. Yeah, okay. So let's see what happens now. It's still active high. Man, I really feel like I would have noticed that in the logic analyzer, and maybe I didn't. Was the audio hard to find? Yeah, like I said, once I noticed the social media thing is lined up with the corruption. The next step I did was I loaded KiCad, and that just caused all kinds of problems. And that's when I realized it had to be an interaction with the GPU, which I feel like something changed because I've been using RTX voice for at least a year now, and it's only been the last month that it seemed to be broken. A 563 is inverting, is it? Wrong computer. Let's see. Are they even available anymore? I guess I don't need an LVC though, do I? Yeah. I see where you're going with that. I like the way you're thinking. And it comes in SOIC. That's good. That's good. And it's pen out. 11 is latch enable. That's good. VCC and ground. Operator enables up there. Data and queues are there and there. Okay. Okay. Um, man, I don't really want to go this path though. But I don't want to do the board again. I can't believe I have to buy another part. I still don't understand why this date. Why would he do data signals as active high? Oh, what is this? The data and address bus lines are pulled up with 10K ohm, but only on the system side of the transceiver. No, that should still. I mean, the CPU should still be driving it. But if he's pulling it up, then yeah, okay. So if he's pulling them up by default, then he's expecting the data lines to be active low. I figured you don't want to, but it's still an option. Yeah. You got a point there. Yeah. Yeah, see, this is why I think this card won't work the way I want it to, but it's not working the way it should be. It should be anyway. Okay. All right. I think that's going to be it because the only other thing I can think to do is write some assembly code to run in a loop. But that's going to be annoying to try to figure out. Yeah. The thing that's bothering me is we are getting, so the way this was supposed to have worked. Okay, ignore the signals are active high. I'm over that for the moment. So there's supposed to be X clock, which is the system clock, and then this basically the expansion clock. And the expansion clock is only supposed to activate when you write to a specific address. But it's active all the time right now, and that doesn't make sense. Unless I misread this. So X clock goes low when the Xmail address is written to. Yeah. So, okay. So what I wanted to do is let's go look at it on the scope, because I have this feeling it's getting written to more often than it should be. I wonder if the basic interpreter does it by default. I didn't think of that. Where is X? Where's this at? Oh, duh. Okay, so it's on X clock, 5 volts, rec. It's the one that's underneath. Shoot. It's on the rec side. It's on rec. Yeah. We're unpowered. We're unpowered. Come on. I think that's on there. We'll find out. Nope. Although I don't know. Okay. And then if I type, oh, no, that doesn't make sense either. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How does this latch work? Fine, go to sleep. Oh my goodness. This is not going to work the way I thought it would. If the latch is high, no. So if the latch is high, then the outputs are high. If the latch is low, and then if it's low, yeah, this isn't going to work. Shoot. Because when the latch enable is high, the outputs follow the data. When latch goes low, then the output gets latched in. Problem is, then this thing goes back to high and it latches, it relatches. And this one works the same way. It's just that the outputs are inverted. Bummer. I wonder now if I can change the CPLD and change the behavior of this pin just so that my board will work. Because I basically want the opposite behavior. When it's low, I want it to pass whatever it sees on the data bus so that when it goes high, it latches the last thing. And then invert the data lines while I'm at it. Yeah, maybe I can. Okay. Well, I tell you what, I'm not prepared to do that tonight because I'm not, but I think that's what we're going to do next week. Assuming I don't get to the video before then, which I probably won't because I have to finish this other one. Yeah, because next weekend is when I want it to work on this video. So yeah, I think that's what I'll try to work towards is next stream. Let's dive into wind couple. So the thing is, check this out. Ooh, man, my desk was clean before I started this. So wind couple is a program that takes CPLD project files and compiles them into basically the bit stream that you need for the different for programmable devices. And so what is crazy to me is I used this program when I was in college and it hasn't changed at all since then. It's other than the widgets looking like a modern Windows widget. This is exactly what this program looked like 20 plus years ago. And what's really fun about it is it doesn't work correctly. So on my laptop, it crashes whenever I load one of these project files. Can't figure out why. And then there are 3 CPLDs in this project, and 2 of them, I can compile them or synthesize 2 of them to be exactly the same as the files that Bernardo generated. The third one generates a different bit stream, and I can't figure out why. I don't remember which one that is, though. I have to go back and look at my notes and see if I can see which one I talked to Bernardo about. I'm hoping I'm hoping one of the ones that compiles correctly is the one that we want to play with. And I don't remember at the moment which one does what. This looks like this is video related. Yeah. Let me see. Let's look at the spacer. So that has that's IO pins. That's talking about SRAM. Okay, then what about Fat Cat? Wait, I looked at Fat Skunk. Reset. That looks like it's doing something with the video as well. I think this might be generating the FPGA or the FPGA. Oh, my brain just went to sleepy. Okay. That's video related. All right. Well, that's something I'm going to dive into. I don't think that's going to be fun to do on stream. So, okay. Well, that was fun. I didn't catch that about the data bus though. I'm really surprised that it's active high. I wasn't expecting that. So I mean, I'm sort of okay with it because we should still get Blinky activity. It's just not the way we think. This latching of the clock though, that one bothers me even more because even if that was the case, we could just write a program that just inverts whatever, like if we give it a value, just invert it before it goes out. So so I think we can, okay, thanks TZ. And thanks for telling me about the 563 because that's going to help. Where was I at? If I can fix the clock, in the CPLD, at least for my Blinky board, then we should be able to at least write inverted values to it and have those display on the LEDs like we want. It just won't be as to me. It's not as interesting on the data bus because it's inverted, and our brains don't work that way. So yeah. Anyway, if you didn't know, there was a Atoms video last week, so go check that one out. It's on the Bald Sense project. I'm just going to do this one, AO-latest. And then also, what in the world? Oh, this is way delayed. Wow. Yeah. So, for those that are on, oh yeah. And then I should also, as always, if you want to join us on the Discord, here's a link to the Atoms Discord, which I will post updates. Right now, I'm mostly focused on this power supply project that I'm doing with polymer capacitors. And so I'll be posting some updates in the Discord there over the next couple of days, because I'm trying to get that ready for a video for next week. So, all right. Most likely next week we'll either be working on this again, or we'll be doing something with LoRa, because basically the next Atoms video is the Cerberus. The one after that will be, I want to compare Wi-Fi and LoRa for transmitting data in terms of power usage. And then I've got a project following that one later on as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Please try to find time to do something you enjoy. And if you do, make sure you share it with others. For those that are on Twitch, we're going to go and see our friend Sid and see what he's soldering tonight. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all of you, and take care. Bye.